Quite extraordinary to actually see them as sort of moving, sentient beings. I mean, Aunt Muriel, of course, survived till 89, so we knew her reasonably well, but of course he died ages before I was born, so of course we had no idea what he was like. In fact, rarely. I don't suppose my father had much memory of him either, because he was 12 when he died.
Of course, his mother had been sending out all these provisions out,
yes, that was fantastic.
Out to the Boer War, hadn't she?
He'd write letters back saying, food's not too good here. I could do with a few partridge. So he got his mother, believe it or not, to send out tins of potted partridge all the way from Hull by ship to Cape Town, and then on the train all the way up to try and find him somewhere up in the Transvaal. I mean, it's the most amazing logistical exercise even today.
Oh, our highest praise. Isn't that great?
Really, it seems all a bit undeserved, doesn't it? I mean, he was just really, he was a messenger between one general and another, no more than that. And, you know, he got into this battle and had 2 fingers shot off, and that got him invalided out. So, and God alone knows how he ever got the DSO. Now that's Arthur and Mary,
his
and
parents.
there's Clive, and there's Muriel with him. I must say, Muriel's got a pretty sort of risque cap on. She looks as if she's got a cloth cap, rather like all the lads from the docks.
And then this boy, well, these wonderful hats that the women have too, and scarves. And
yes, one of the young chaps got a hat just like Clive's. Mr. Bowlegs comes out again.
Yes.
Basically, he's got a horse between his legs even if he's walking. Oh, you can see there his 2 fingers have been shot off.
Shot off, yes.
He was what, when he went? Probably 24, 25. Here was an opportunity for adventure. And
he was patriotic, obviously.
No doubt patriotic, but I mean, I think it was actually this sort of adventure and excitement and get out and see the world.
Because you didn't go backpacking then. You obviously went off to war, didn't you?
It was your opportunity.
Yes.
And I mean, it must have been quite exciting. Let's face it. You know, you're a young man of 25, and there you are going out and galloping all over the veldt, and you never probably ever thought, well, you might get shot, but you just went for the excitement of it.
For most Boer War volunteers, it wasn't the prospect of adventure that motivated them. It was an escape from a life in the factory. Private Ward of Leeds joined the King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry. Volunteering to carry requests for reinforcements through ferocious enemy fire, Ward saved his besieged comrades' lives. He was awarded the Victoria Cross, the highest award for bravery. Private Ward's VC made him a local hero in Leeds, and this rather strange silent interview with the showman was made. For the audience was hearing the showman's running commentary as well as seeing the actual person on film that counted. His grandson, Mick Ward, still lives in Leeds.
My granddad was the last person to be personally given the Victoria Cross by Queen Victoria, because this was just the week before she died. And there was the big celebration of my granddad coming back to Leeds. And I think it was a recognition that he was a working class lad from that area who'd fought for Queen and country, but who also, I think, had represented that sense of comradeship and support for each other, and an incredible act of bravery, and people wanted to recognise that. Some people watching would know who he was and know of the deed, but maybe not the detail, and so it would be just a case, I think, of them seeing him, well, not in the flesh, but fairly close to being in the flesh. And, you know, there's the bit there where he's actually holding the VC in his hand, he's the presenter, and showing it out to people. He's obviously talking both about his experience and what he went through, but also the impact it had on himself, you know, and he's actually touching the different parts of his body, presumably, because, you know, he was shot a number of times, and that must still be having an effect, and it did affect him, you know, later on in life as well. It's obviously winter, you know, I presume that's snow that's lying around. It's a sort of a bit of a strange background with a sort of wooden planks everywhere. It looks like some derelict warehouse. I think what's odd about it is the fact that it actually exists, that sense that he was that important, that somebody could be bothered to film. And then just seeing your father's father, what have you inherited, I think that's quite interesting, particularly in the profile bits where you do recognise yourself a bit, and I think that's a bit strange, because certainly I've never seen moving film of my dad, so there's that sort of generation leap, and then just the odd mannerism seems familiar. I've got a son who's 21, and this will be when he was 23, and he looks much more similar to my son. And then at the end, you know, as they come at now, the sort of big shake of hand and thank you, and the stop, look back, in, you know, making him look into the camera. And I think that's a really nice sort of ending for it, as he sort of looked into presumably the people who were watching at the time.
By now, Sagar, Mitchell and James Kenyon were doing very well out of their cinematograph business in Blackburn. They were making hundreds of local topicals and working with a big network of showmen. Showmen and cameramen were coming to their shop from all over the north to buy film and equipment, to get their films printed and to commission them to make films. Mitchell even went on a couple of business trips. He travelled from Blackburn to trade fairs in Leipzig and Paris. Trade was good, and it was getting better. Although not a single cinema had been built, the appetite for local films was seemingly unending. Audiences were packing the fairgrounds and music halls to see their films.
If these wonderful films hadn't been found, then so much about their world would have been lost to us. The world of ordinary men and women in towns, on trams, coming home from work, coming home from the war.
Next, more adventures with Mitchell and Kenyon and the mad world of the showman. We'll explore sport and pleasure in Edwardian England. We'll watch our workers on holiday, and we'll also be showing a world exclusive, the first ever film of Manchester United.